What's going on, everybody? This is Clint from the Diehard MMA podcast. This is odds.com. This video was filmed exclusively for odds.com. We break down UFC 257, Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, with special guest, the UFC's own Brian Boom Kelleher, helping us out on the podcast. It's a great episode. Make sure you check it out. Hit the link below. Head on over to odds.com.
So, all right, we're winding this thing down. We got the good stuff coming up here.
Here we
Lightweight
go.
fight, Matt the Steamroller Frevola, 8-1-1, taking on Ottman Azaitar, who is 13-0, undefeated. Matt Frevola, big grappling advantage here, or at least you would think so. He's a big-time wrestler, but he also likes to strike. This guy's got big, heavy hands. He throws these big winging hooks to kind of corral his opponents into the cage. And then once he's got their backs up against the fence, that's when he decides to duck and change levels. He's only got one loss on his record, and that's a bad KO from Marco Polo Reyes, where he got clipped in a fight. Because of those big winging hooks, he finally ran into somebody who could take advantage of it. Ottman Azaitar on the flip side of this thing, this dude's got crazy, scary power, big, strong, nice sprawl, good hips, and he always attacks in combinations too. That's something I like to see, that he throws more than just one shot at a time. He likes to rip the body. He feints to get his opponents to react and then attacks once they're open. And the thing that needs to be said is that Ottman Azaitar is a guy that fights because he wants to, because he's mean, because he loves it. He comes from money. He's got a very wealthy background. He's got connections. You know what I mean? But he chooses to step in to the cage and do this blood sport for fun. And to me, that's that extra level of crazy that I like when I'm looking at maybe betting on a fighter. How do you feel about these two guys, Boom?
Yeah, I agree with that too. Whenever I see a fighter that's like, even like a Conor McGregor, you have so much money, you're so rich, Khabib, like you don't have to do this anymore, but they still do it for the love of the game. And that's a dangerous fighter right there. And Ottman has a lot of power, like you said. And I'm just worried about Frevola's style. He's one of those guys that I think gets reckless in there. And he is dangerous. He's good at mixing it up, really good at striking to takedowns and chain wrestling and making you tired. And if he can do that to you, he could really run away with the fight. But I just think, Ottman's power is going to be something to deal with in there. If Frevola gets reckless and gets caught, it's going to be a different kind of power that he's felt before. We haven't seen much of Ottman on the ground or how he deals with, being underneath somebody. I would like to see that, just to see how he deals with it, if he can get back up to his feet and still have that kind of power, because that's what you want to see to really see if a guy is durable and how he deals with adversity. That's definitely a big thing. So I just feel like in this fight, Frevola is going to fight the way he always fights. He's going to get reckless. He's going to go into the danger zone, and he's going to get caught with something big. I could see him getting wobbled and Ottman, following up and finishing the fight with a KO or TKO.
Man, once again, I'm sorry. I completely agree. I've been waiting on this spot. Ottman Azaitar is a guy that I bet on a couple of times already, and we faded him. We bet on him against Kama Worthy his last time out. Everybody was so high. Everyone was so high on Kama Worthy after his big upset win that it made that line super playable for us, and I've been waiting for his next opponent. I like Matt Frevola. I love what this guy brings to the table. I love his grinding style. I love that he's tough and he hits hard, but he's just too open to getting countered. And guys that he's fought recently have been these big, tall, lanky guys that are super easy for him to get in on their hips. Jalen Turner, Luis Pena, the short wrestler against the tall, long guy. Sometimes that works in reverse. We like to favor the people with the reach advantage, but when it's a wrestler, you've got all that room to get in under the hips and dump them. And that's what Matt Frevola has been able to do. Now he's taking on a guy that's going to stand toe-to-toe with him. He's not going to have as easy of access to those hips. And Azaitar hits so much harder than anybody else he's faced in his career, and even harder than the guy that actually knocked him out. So I'm on a Ottman Azaitar here, and I was hoping, I saw the market kind of moving towards Matt Frevola, and that's the reason I haven't actually bet it yet. But it seems like the line is starting to flip back the other way. The Azaitar money is coming in. He's sitting around minus 155, minus 160, and I'm planning on pouncing. This is going to be a bet that I make. I like Ottman Azaitar here, and I'm considering doing a 2 unit bet on it, going a little bigger on it.
Yeah, I wonder what's the inside the distance on this, because I feel like this fight won't go the distance. I think both guys pretty aggressive. Even if Frevola starts to grind him out and take him down, he looks for ground and pound and tries to finish you there as well. So it's either a knockout or I think Frevola can kind of do damage on the ground if he starts to tire him out.
Yeah, that's an interesting point there. So the total right now is looking like 1.5. They've got the under 1.5 at plus 135. The over 1.5 is minus 155. They're expecting, again, we talked about those 1.5s.
Yeah.
They're expecting it to squeeze over that 1.5. But the fight not going the distance is minus 200. So the bookies are expecting this thing to get ended one way or the other. And Azaitar inside the distance is plus 125. So that's where if you don't want to. Yeah. If you don't want to lay that chalk, maybe take a shot on the plus 125 for Azaitar inside the distance. In my opinion, the minus 160 is playable. That's not out of control yet. So I'm probably going to go ahead and play that just in case it gets stretched out, because Azaitar has hit the third round a couple of times. He's got one decision on his record and then one third round knockout. So against a guy like Frevola, who's going to mix in that wrestling, I'm probably just going to eat the chalk on this one and play it safe.
Yeah, and I think it's good to see a guy like Ottman, like get a late knockout like that in the third round, because it kind of gives you clarity that he still has that power later on, which is good to know. If you're trying to bet inside the distance or for a finish like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And actually, that's kind of what happened in that fight. Obviously, it wasn't quite UFC level. It wasn't UFC caliber, but his opponent did look to press him, look to push him, grind on him those first couple of rounds. There was a lot of wrestling and grappling going on. And then he showed up in the third round and he banked the guy's head off. So it gives me confidence that this guy carries his power late against this kind of an opponent. And seeing Frevola wobbled a couple times, seeing him knocked out the one time, and the way he swings, man, he doesn't seem to have a plan B. He loves those big hooks to move his opponent in where he wants them, and he doesn't change from that. So I feel like the counter opportunity is just going to be there, and Azaitar is going to clip him at some point.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is Frevola's mentality is just go forward and attack. Like, he's not really looking to out technique you or outpoint you. He's looking for the kill, but he's always going forward and he's throwing big hooks and he's putting himself in vulnerable spots.
Yeah, exactly. It's that high risk, high reward situation, which from a fan perspective, it's great. It's fun to watch. From a betting perspective, I don't really want to put my money on a guy that could run face first into a freight train.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.